Hey, Buff Nation, voice of the Buffs, Mark Johnson here. Coming up this week at the Buffalo Stampede, we're live at Corelli's in Boulder, where we have our Monday night Buffs Prime Time. We're going to take behind the scenes with head coach Tad Boyle and point guard KJ Simpson. Plus, we're going to recap CU women's games with number 2 Stanford and Oregon State. All this week on the Buffalo Stampede.
Dimitri Stanley's going to take it to the house.
There is why he's one of the best linebackers in America. And there he goes! Touchdown! Right between the eyes from downtown.
It's a winner for the Buffs.
Ball is right in front. A couple of shot fakes to Steve Perry.
Hands off Parquet, stop and go down the paint. Pulls up from 15, jumpers up and good to the left side by Elijah Parquet. The shot won't go. We saw an offensive rebound. Clifford, his put back with the left hand is up and good. Nice rebound by Nick Clifford. This is in the corner. KJ Simpson with a ball fake. Tries one with the right hand is up and good by KJ Simpson. He's got his first bucket. He's got 4 points.
Here's some highlights of Colorado's loss at number 6 Arizona last week down in Tucson. Hi, everybody. Voice of the Buffs, Mark Johnson. Welcome to the Buffalo Stampede. As you can tell, we're not in the studio and out in the arena today. We're out in front of Corelli's, where Monday nights we do Buffs Prime Time. And we thought we'd recap the ball games on the radio show. We start with head coach Tad Boyle. Well, it's good to be back for week number 2 of Buffs Prime Time. And listen to that. Listen to the roar of the crowd here at Corelli's tonight. It's week number 2. Last week, I think we snuck up on it after being off, if you will, doing live shows for well over a year. I think we snuck up on everybody. We had some hearty folks that showed up last week. But look at that crowd out there. Look at the smiling faces. Huh?
Yeah, that's awesome.
It's a good thing you won on Saturday. You know that?
Amen.
Otherwise.
Amen.
Well, it's good to be back out here at Corelli's, the best restaurant in Boulder, Colorado. We're out here every Monday night from 7 until 8 o'clock for Buffs Prime Time. A little bit different show tonight. We always do a couple of segments with Tad, of course, and we're going to tonight. And then we do our players segment and then J.R. Payne. But J.R. Payne of the women, we're in Corvallis today, and I'm sorry to report they dropped a game in overtime to Oregon State, 69-66. And so they're probably in the air on their way back here as they get set then to go down to the Arizona schools this week. So we're going to have 2 segments with our player guest, point guard KJ Simpson is coming in. All right? And I know you guys have loved what he's done on the court. Troy Andre and I were talking over the weekend trying to figure out what we're going to do, and I said, all right, who do we think's the best talker on the team? And KJ, now Evan, obviously, we'd think Evan, right? But Evan's a senior, so we'll keep him towards the end of the year. So we're thinking of some of the other guys, and you know this, KJ's a wonderful
he's major energy, and he's a terrific young man.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we're looking forward to having KJ. He'll come up for those last 2 segments here tonight at Corelli's. Well, the Buffs coming off the split. They went down, and how did you put it after the game in Arizona?
Got whooped.
Yeah, got
I
whooped.
can't remember. Whooped.
Something like that.
Shellacked.
And then they bounced back and have a very nice game against Arizona State on the Saturday and took care of the Sun Devils and now come back home to take on a couple of top 15 teams. You got USC coming in on Thursday night and then UCLA on Saturday at the Event Center. So how do you feel a few days later about your trip down to Arizona?
You know, I wish we would have fared a little bit better against the Wildcats because I think that was an opportunity to get a road win. Yeah. And even if you don't get a road win, at least you feel like you came a little close. But I was really pleased with what we did in the first half, going into halftime. Even our players were encouraged about that. But the second half was just pathetic. I mean, Mark, we just got drilled on the boards. We were up 4 on the rebounding margin at halftime, and they were minus 11 for the game, which means we were down 15 in the second half. But look, it's a learning experience. I mean, Arizona's a really, really good team. I think they're they and UCLA right now, to me, are the class of our league, in my opinion. UCLA for different reasons. UCLA is tough, grinded out, half court, and Arizona's just like run and get out in transition and play the game offensively the way it should be played. So, we can learn from UCLA on the defensive end and the grinded out way, and then we can also learn from Arizona, and I think our guys did that.
Tommy Lloyd comes after being a longtime assistant at Gonzaga. Do they remind you stylistically?
Absolutely. Yeah. No, I mean, Tommy is a really good coach. It's funny. The athletic director at Arizona is Dave. His name is Dave Hickey, And Dave was an assistant athletic director at Oregon when I was an assistant coach at Oregon, and so we got to know each other well, and we've stayed in touch through the years. Our wives are good friends, and when he made the hire to hire Tommy Lloyd, I text Dave, and I'm like, unfortunately, you made a really good hire.
Right.
And
right.
Dave and I have that kind of relationship where we can laugh at each other, and he says, thanks, I appreciate it. Because, he was under a lot of heat with, the Sean Miller situation through the years. So, but Tommy Lloyd's a really good coach. And the thing I appreciate about him as a fellow coach, he's very humble, and he does things the right way. And they made a great hire, and he's done a great job there.
We'll go ahead and take another time out here when we continue on Buffs Prime Time from Corelli's. More with Tad Boyle, KJ Simpson still to come. This is Colorado basketball from Learfield. Dribbles his way up court, gives up to Bartholomew on the right side. Hook pass behind him. Walker pulls up, trailing 3 ball on the way. And a swipe between the eyes from downtown. Up top, between the circles, driving. Bartholomew down the lane, throwing up the window. Shot is good. He hung in the air. He double clutched. He took contact, and he hooked it off the window for 2. KJ to the foul line, jump pass behind him. Clifford wide open, fires a 3. Right between the eyes from downtown. Oh, what a good look that time. On the block, kick up behind him, Batty up top, Simpson, he'll fire the 3. Oh, it's raining threes in the desert tonight. 12:49 to play in the second half. There's highlights from the Buffaloes as they get the split on the road. They lose to Arizona, bounce back in Tempe, and knock off the Arizona State Sun Devils. Voice of the Buffs, Mark Johnson, back in the Buffalo Stampede. We continue from Corelli's. We have Buffs Prime Time on Monday nights, and we're continuing with the head coach, Tad Boyle. We're talking with head coach Tad Boyle. KJ Simpson is here, the freshman point guard for the Buffaloes. He'll be joining us here in a couple of minutes. Exciting young player for Colorado. Talking about the Buffs, a couple of games down in Arizona this week. They bounced back on Saturday with a nice 75-57 win over Arizona State. We were talking before the break about your guys kind of taking the lesson to heart from Arizona, and a totally different feel of that ball game for your team.
Yeah, and Mark, I mentioned this after the game. I don't know if we talked about it on the radio or not, but Mike Rohn, who's been with us for 12 years, he made a really good point, I thought, in the locker room after the game, because each assistant coach gets a chance to kind of chime in and kind of get some things off their chest, win or lose. But he mentioned the fact that he felt like we had great senior leadership from the time we lost at Arizona until we played at Arizona State, and he's exactly right. I mean, and I talked to Evan about it, between the loss at Arizona and when we played ASU. And, I said, Evan, you just got to get these guys ready to go, and, we got to put this behind us, because that film session is a way for me to get stuff off my chest and sleep better the next night. But, our guys did a great job of that, and Evan and Eli deserve a lot of that credit, because they understand me, they understand our program, but a lot of these young guys don't, and so they did a really good job of getting our mindset right, and our guys, put the Arizona loss behind them, learn from it. And I mentioned, the fact that we came out, we were up 15-3 on Arizona State, and we got a lot of those points in transition because our guys sprinted the floor, and I've used sarcasm a time or two in my life to get through to our guys, and I remember in the offensive game plan, as I read up on the board before the game, I said, let's run like Arizona runs, not like Colorado runs. Let's run like Arizona, and our guys came out and did that, and so now maybe we can incorporate it into what we do. But I was really proud of the way our guys mentally bounced back, because that's not always easy.
Hey, we're going to have KJ coming up here in a couple of minutes. And he certainly, and it was unique circumstances on Thursday night at Arizona. Came out and played a phenomenal game.
Yeah.
Really gave you a fantastic first half. Was a big spark, if you will, in that first half surge that you guys had. And then played some very nice minutes against ASU. Talk about what you're seeing from him as a player.
Special talent. I'm telling you, he's the sky is the limit for KJ Simpson. I mean, we talk about McKinley, and obviously the people here have seen McKinley the last 4 years, until last year when he left us. But KJ's got a chance. I mean, especially athletically and offensively, to really do some special things here. The thing I just keep getting on him about is the defensive mindset and taking that pride on that he's got on offense, because he's a dynamic player. I mean, he's unbelievably athletic. He's gifted. He can, I talked to he and Keyshawn and Jabari all after the Arizona game, and I as a group, and I said, here's the blessing for you guys. The blessing is you guys have the ability to make tough shots. I said the curse is, you take too many tough shots. But KJ's there's no fear in his game, and I love that about him. I really do, and I think he's in the process of learning what's a good shot, what's not a good shot. He's in the process of learning, hey, it's time for me to take on a challenge defensively like Eli does. And the thing I love about him is he, like I do all of our freshmen, is he wants to be great. He wants to be a good player. He's very coachable. And he's really learning a lot from Eli. He's learning a lot from Evan in terms of leadership skills, because there's going to be a day in the near future where we're going to rely on him to be that leader for us. And right now he's a freshman. He's learning. He's growing. But I could not be happier and higher on a freshman than I am KJ Simpson, because he's going to be a special player, and he's going to have a lot of highlight reels.
Yeah,
he already has had a few.
Yes, he has.
But he's a joy to coach, and I'm so glad he's a Buff. And he'll probably talk about his story in terms of recruiting. I'm sure you'll ask him about it. But the one thing I've learned about recruiting, KJ's taught me is, when you recruit a kid and you don't get him, you handle things the right way. And just like when you're a kid and you get recruited by a lot of different schools, I remember when KJ chose to go to Arizona and not Colorado. I remember him calling and saying, "Coach, hey, listen, thank you for recruiting me. I really appreciate all you've done. Sean chose to go a different direction." And that just shows you the character he's got, the family he came from. He's got great parents, and we're lucky to have him. And Buff Nation is going to really, really enjoy watching this kid grow over the next few years.
All right, speaking of Thursday night, so USC is coming to town. We know they're wildly talented. Give us a bit of scouting report on the Trojans.
They're a talented group that we're going to have to be ready to rock and roll with in terms of our intensity and our focus. There's no question in my mind we will. It sure helps when we make some shots. We saw the difference between Arizona State and Arizona on that, but we've been doing a lot of shooting, and our guys shoot the ball well in our building. So I feel good about where we're at, but I just can't wait for Thursday.
Yeah, looking forward to it. That's a 5:30 game on Thursday again.
Yeah,
on the network.
Different tip.
Yeah, that's right.
Different
nice
tip.
and early. We'll hit the air at 5 o'clock with the pregame show on Thursday night. We're going to let you go so you can go home and watch Pete play.
Yes.
Yeah.
I
Pete's
can't
playing
wait.
tonight.
Pete Boyle, the Pomona Pitzer Sage Hens, 8 o'clock tip.
Good luck on Thursday.
Thank you.
There's the head coach of the Buffaloes, Tad Boyle, coming off the split at Arizona, getting ready for the LA schools coming to town this week. Next up on the Stampede, we're going to talk with point guard KJ Simpson. In the corner, KJ Simpson with a ball fake. Tries runner with the right hand. Is up and good by KJ Simpson. He's got his first bucket. He's got 4 points. Here come the Buffaloes on the run. Pushes up court. Down the lane on his way to the hoop. Layup is up and good. Coast to coast that time for KJ Simpson. He's got 6 on the right side. The KJ Simpson off a pick. The roll. Looking in the paint. Pulls up from 15. Fires. Hits from the foul line. And a foul and a potential three-point play. And KJ Simpson has got 8 points. He's one of the more exciting freshmen we've had here at CU in quite some time. KJ Simpson was electric in the first half as the Buffs fell at Arizona, but continues to play very, very well. Voice of the Buffs, Mark Johnson, back here on the Buffalo Stampede. We're at Corelli's Monday nights, Buffs prime time, and on Monday we head on the young point guard for the Buffaloes. With us, KJ Simpson out of West Hills, California. Where's that West Hills at? Give him a round of applause. Yeah, give him a round of applause.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Appreciate you for having me.
You bet.
So where I live is like Panorama City is close to Northridge, right?
Okay.
And it's
All right.
like 30 or 35 minutes away from West Hills.
Okay.
So yeah, it's more towards like close to Calabasas area.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, you come from a big family? You got a lot of brothers and sisters or not?
No, I'm an only child.
Are you really?
Yes.
Wow.
But I live with my aunt and my little cousin, so
Okay.
it's almost like having a little sister.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
All right. Where's the athleticism come from with you?
My dad for sure, but Who knows? My mom could have it.
Yeah.
She just hasn't displayed it.
So as a kid, we all think, I mean, I thought for sure I was going to play in the NBA or Major League Baseball or something. So everyone thinks you're good. When did you figure out, I'm pretty good at this game?
Well, if it happened like towards when I was going, actually about to go into middle school.
Okay.
Before I was just playing because I just enjoyed it. I was like, well, you always play
Sure.
it because you enjoy it. But
Yeah.
that's when I started to realize, I'm doing things out here that, I'm noticing other kids aren't doing.
Yeah.
My dad's telling me, stuff and it's working. And, I'm starting to exceed. I'm starting to get, a lot of praise from parents after games, even the opposing team parents. That's when I really realized, like, okay, like, let me take this serious.
Yeah. So take us through, because I think it's kind of an interesting story, how you ended up here at Colorado, right? You committed to Arizona. Kind of take us through the process. When did you really start getting recruited? Was it sophomore, junior year?
My sophomore year, I did, but it was by a lot of schools, and that they would tell me where we would love to offer you, but we know you're going to go to a higher or better program.
Okay.
So I didn't have like too many offers. It was almost towards like the end of sophomore, going in my junior year. And yeah, that's pretty much where it picked up. And then I remember I got off from Colorado. I was getting an offer from Pac-12 schools, other schools like Santa Clara, stuff like that. But yeah, my story was, I wanted to take my time with it. I didn't want to rush. But it was so weird because it was during the COVID year.
Yeah.
So I didn't really get a visit. I really.
I hadn't thought about that. You were doing the virtual visit type thing.
I was FaceTiming people getting. That was my tour.
Right.
Or I got it on Zoom. So
take us then to the Arizona thing. So you decide, okay, and as Tad mentioned, you called him and told him. And by the way, good on you for doing that.
Oh yeah, you
right?
got to show your respect, because
there you go.
They could very easily just not offer another kid. So just out of respect, that's just what I went out my way to do.
I'm going to take that clip right there and play it for high school kids all over the country, right? Because I've heard from a number of coaches, there are plenty of guys that don't do that, right? They go through the recruitment process, don't say a word, just go someplace else. So good on you for that.
Thank you.
So you commit to Arizona, and then they have the upheaval they had there. So that all of a sudden kind of put you back in your heels then, right?
Yeah, I woke up and I saw it on my phone. That's how I found out. And
Right.
I remember I ran. My dad was about to go to work. I ran downstairs. Like, Dad, what does this mean? Like, what happens now? Like,
Right.
But yeah, he just talked me. He pulled me to the side, just talked to me, told me like what was going to happen.
So you commit to Arizona, but there must have been something about dealing with Tad, dealing with the staff, the guys that you had a chance to meet virtually. I'm assuming you did. There must have been something that kind of resonated here. Then when that change happened, drew you back this direction.
Oh, well, what it was is when I went and called Coach Boyle before telling him I was going to commit somewhere else, he told me, he was the only coach that told me this. He told me that if anything didn't work out or the stuff didn't go in your favor, that he would always feel the same way and be there.
Yeah.
And sure enough, when everything happened, and I don't know if they were able to contact me right away. Just as there's a rule about this, but they had to contact my high school coach. But he told me that, I don't remember if it was Coach Boyle, but somebody from Colorado was the first person to call, and they were sure enough saying the same thing, that he had mentioned that they were feeling the same way. And it's crazy how ironic it was that he said that, and it happened. So it's almost like meant to be.
How do you feel you've been playing your freshman year?
I just think it's been everything I've expected, honestly.
Yeah, really?
I knew coming in it was going to be almost a challenge, because it's so different from high school.
Sure.
Especially for me, what Coach Boyle talks about most is defense, and that's something that I've just had to not almost learn, but basically learn.
Sure.
Like a whole new style of defense that I've played in high school.
All right. Well, this guy is an exciting young player and an impressive young man, don't you think? I mean, you come in here as a freshman. Sometimes guys struggle. You're gonna be hosting this show pretty soon.
Thank
nice
you.
job.
Thank you.
Keep up the good work.
Appreciate it.
Point guard KJ Simpson joining us on Buffs Primetime and here in the Buffalo Stampede. Now, normally we have J.R. Payne on the program as well. However, she couldn't be on either program because her Buffs were making up a game at Oregon State. We're going to tell you about that contest coming up next here in the Stampede.
Chance to get it back to one possession game, and there's another turnover. Good pass from Foreman. Quay Miller finishes through the defense of Lexi Hall. Foreman. Frida is good from outside. The first lead of the game for Stanford. Can Quay Miller erase it? Yep.
Back in the Buffalo Stampede, time to talk women's basketball. The Colorado women dropped their first contest of the season last Friday night. They were hosting the number 2 team in the land, the Stanford Cardinal. The number 22 ranked Buffaloes came up short 60-52 in their loss to the Cardinal. Winners of 13 straight, the Buffs dropped their first game of the season, falling to 13-1 and 2-1 in Pac-12 conference play. Quay Miller led Colorado with 16 points, followed by Pina Tuatele, who had 10. Kendall Wetta dished out 3 assists. Lasila Finau led the Buffs in rebounding with 4 in the contest. And afterward, we heard from head coach J.R. Payne.
I'm really proud of our ball club. You know, I think 2 really good basketball teams played tonight. 2 really good teams. Okay, 2 teams that should be competing at the highest level like we were tonight. So we competed, we battled. There's so many things that we have that we can learn from. You know, I told the team I didn't really expect us to go 35-0 this year. Maybe now we'll go 34-1. At some point, we were going to lose a game, and Stanford is one of the best teams in America, not just this year, but every year. They're well coached, they're tough, they're disciplined, they're everything a good college basketball team should be. I believe that we also are everything a good college basketball team should be. We're tough, we're fearless, we compete on every single possession, up 20, down 10. Okay, we compete, and I'm unbelievably proud of our team today.
So there's head coach J.R. Payne after the Buffalo's first loss of the season. Now the Buffs were supposed to play Cal on Sunday. However, because of COVID issues within the Cal program, that game was postponed. But the Buffs did make up a road game on MLK Day at Oregon State. In a back-and-forth overtime thriller, the CU women's basketball team fell at Oregon State 69-66. Quay Miller was the leading scorer for the Buffaloes with 18, followed by Maya Hollingshed and Frida Foreman, each with 13. Hollingshed led the rebounding category with 11 boards in the contest, marking her 20th career double-double. When the Buffs went to overtime, tied at 64, they went without a field goal in the overtime session, end up falling to the Beavers 69-66, and now sit at 13-2 on the season. So now the Buffalo women are on the road once again. The remainder of the week, they head down to Arizona to take on Arizona and Arizona State. As for the CU men, they've got the LA schools coming to town. A couple of top 15 teams beginning on Thursday night at 5:30. The Buffs will take on USC. That'll wrap up this week's Buffalo Stampede. I'm voice of the Buffs, Mark Johnson. Thanks for joining us. We'll talk to you next time.